Hi guys, it's Mishel, Deception Bytes, and I am back again. And I say it like that because I've already uploaded 3 videos, but the last one, the one that contained today's Q posts, it had no sound. And I was reading the comments, that's how I found out, and I was laughing because you guys are hysterical. You really are. I love the humor. And then somebody wrote, boy, she's going to be mad when she finds out this has no sound. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, because at this time at night, I did not want to be just starting another recording. But I know that you guys wait for these, so I'm doing it for you. Anyway, let's start with this one that I missed from the 6th. And it says, spread out by design. MSNBC next, at Jack. No PG bot push, post RC. Now, let's start decoding this before we go any further. Spread out by design, MSNBC next. What he's saying is MSNBC next, tomorrow, no, not tomorrow, tomorrow's Sunday, Monday, they're having a interview with Loretta Lynch, and I'm just going to go out to this real quick. I'm not going to read it, but I'm just going to show it to you. Loretta Lynch to talk Clinton tarmac meeting, James Comey in Monday interview. So those are the things that she's going to talk about. And I think it's interesting that they're talking about this. I really do. So it'll be interesting. But that's on NBC, I guess. Apparently. NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt. And anyway, so that's the first one. And then the week after that, on April 15th, which as soon as I heard that April 15th, I thought about taxes, and I haven't done mine yet, so I better do it. Let's go out to there. Even when I'm out of the country, still got to pay your taxes. Okay, exclusive. James Comey to give first interview. Hang on. James Comey to give first interview to ABC News George Stephanopoulos. Stephanopoulos. That's kind of a fun name to say. Stephanopoulos. Anyway, yeah, so he's going to be on there, and he's going to be talking about, I guess he's got a book out, and he's going to be talking about, well, it says for the first time since he was fired by President Trump, James Comey will sit down with ABC News chief anchor George Stephanopoulos for an exclusive interview that will air during a primetime 2020 special on April 15th. So, and he wrote a book called A Higher Loyalty, Truth, Lies, and Leadership, like he'd know. And so, let's go back to Q. So that's what Q's talking about. He's saying, did they spread these interviews out by design? You know, to keep it in the news? Probably. Then he said, at Jack, and I can only presume that's Jack Dorsey, Twitter fame. And he said, no PG bot push post RC. Now, RC stands for Rachel Chandler, or she also goes by Ray Chandler. And she is, we talked about her in reference to Epstein, the island, so forth. She's got a modeling agency, so-called, where they're really not models. Anyway, we're going to get to what happened with this in a minute, and we're going to see why he's saying that. And post RC, her Instagram has been taken down. Like, she's off the web now. And I don't know who did that. I have my suspicions, but it's down, and it was right after a post, and we're going to get to that in a minute. But anyway, so he's saying no PG bot push, and I think he's saying PG, parental guidance, bot push, because this was anything but PG. And, you know, this was taken down off of Instagram, and so he's saying, you know, of course they're pushing bots for everything else, censorship and everything. They don't want us talking about guns. They don't want us talking about Trump and any number of things, and certainly don't mention the name David Hogg. So, yeah, and they got bots for everything else, but they don't have a PG bot. Anyway, and then he says saving for Monday. So I'm not sure. Are they going to bring their bots out in force on Monday when everybody starts talking about that interview, which you know that the Trump supporters aren't going to be happy with whatever said. And then he says, waiting, open the door, at Snowden, close to door, Q. Now, what's he saying here? Well, I read this several times before I kind of clued in to what I think he's saying. Because he put the at Snowden right here after open the door, at Snowden, close to door. So that would mean that the at Snowden is probably referring to this right here, I would think. Close to door. This is what I think it means. I think he's saying saving for Monday, and then he says waiting. So it's like, yeah, we're waiting. We're aware. We know what's going on. We're waiting. We're waiting for you to open the door. Because once they open the door, then something else is going to come out. Because they're the ones that are opening the door, you see, to talk about the tarmac meeting. They're opening the door to this. So then Snowden, who's now a white hat, right? He says to Snowden. So it's, to me, it's like, saving for Monday, waiting, we're here, we're waiting, open the door, we're waiting. And then he says at Snowden, close to door. I think he's saying at Snowden, we're close to that door being opened. That door that we've been talking about, that door's about to be pushed open. Yep, at Snowden. Be alert here. It's just about showtime. That's how I take it. Now, I could be way off base, and possibly I am, but that's how I'm reading this, because we know that they are working with Snowden now, and I don't think that Snowden really had any choice, but I think Snowden's going to do something for them or let something out. I don't know, but we'll find out. That's how I read that. Now, Q posts this, and he just posts this acknowledging 2 posts. So I've grabbed a screenshot of those 2 posts so that we'd have it. And the first post is this one that he did on April the 2nd, and that's the one where April brought to you by the letter A. April A, IG report, Sessions, public attack, our problems, and all this. It goes down, and then A1 and whatever. He says big month. So there's that one, and then he refers to this one up here. This is a post by an Anon, and Q is acknowledging it. And it has a, let me see, make this a little bigger. And it's blurry, and I'm sorry about that, but I copied this right from the boards. So, and it says, sounds like someone wants to get ahead of a potential bombshell story. And here, this was cut off someone's Twitter, and this Anon has embedded it in their post, and it says, exclusive at Lester Holt, NBC, interviews former Attorney General Loretta Lynch. Lynch will discuss former FBI Director James Comey, her airplane meeting with President Bill Clinton during the 2016 campaign, and more. And this person says, yeah, sounds like someone wants to get ahead of a potential bombshell story. And Q acknowledges that. So that's why all this is coming out, and that's why I'm saying I think that that's what Q is saying. Like, yeah, you go ahead and open that door, guys. Go ahead and open the door. And then he's alerting Snowden, like, at Snowden, we're close to that door being opened. So that's what I think. Now, here is the next Q post, and this is the one that started, well, I don't know what it started. It started a lot of people talking, and it started it started the whole cannibalism dialogue and narrative. So let's take a look at this. We can't go out there to this, and it's because her Instagram has been taken down, and it was taken down almost immediately after this post went up. So I think, based on comments later on, that Q and his team actually took it down. So he posts this, he posts a picture, and I'm going to show it to you in a minute, because I did find it out on the web. There are several places that still have it, that did screenshots of it, but, and he says, the island, night, 3, and 3 is bolded, and Q. So let's take a look at the picture. What's so damaging about this picture? Now, if you've listened to the other video I uploaded tonight, then you're going to know, but this is hard to see, and I admit that it's hard to see, and I can't make it any clearer, because that's just the way it is, but, excuse me, apparently this was taken on the island, Epstein's island, and we know this because Q just told us. And it was taken at night, and something to do with 3. Now, do you remember the post that Q said D room, H, D room, R, D room, C? Well, I found somebody that had solved that, and I am positive that that person's right, because if you look at this picture, they think that the D stands for dining room, which would make sense, and there are 3 dining rooms that are visible in this picture. Now, let's see if I can find them. There's one, and there's people sitting at a table, and they are eating something. This person is bent over. I can't, oh no, they're not. They're sitting with their legs crossed. Okay, and I know that this is hard to see for you guys, and I can't help it. Maybe if you go out and Google the images, you might be able to find it and look at it closer. But now, and these are security cameras, and they've got different channels, and obviously that whole place has security cameras, and it's been stated in the past that Epstein filmed people there having sex. He would provide the girls and so forth, and obviously there's maybe more than that going on. And then he could bribe or whatever the politicians or whoever they were. And that's been going on for a very, very long time among the world's elite. That's how they operate. And yeah. Anyway, so now this is a hallway of some sort, and there's a light right here, and I think it's this light right here because that carpeting matches this carpeting, so it's just another view of that same room or hallway, and there's stairs leading down, and there's hallways with a bunch of doors, probably bedrooms, I would assume, because it's off of hallways. Then when we go down here, this is disturbing to me because something looks very off in this picture. And again, it's hard to see, but it looks, well, there are a bunch of people at a table. There's another whole table of people here where you can just see they look to be sitting on either small round stools or buckets. And we don't know what they're eating. Okay? It's been suggested that they're engaging in cannibalism, and I tend to agree. Now, this is a picture in a room, and there's some sort of a red light here, and there's one person, as far as we can see. There may be more in the room, but we can only see one person, and they are sitting on a bucket, and they are naked and they have their hands over their head folded on top of their head. So I don't know what that means, but it's awfully odd. People don't generally sit on a bucket nude with their arms over their head, resting on their head like that. So, and they have their legs crossed. Now, I don't know if this is a male or a female. I can't tell from behind. I don't know. And I can't tell the age, obviously, from that picture. This, I can't tell anything much because it's cut off. But here is another dining room. So, yeah. So let me get this smaller again. And that's that. Now, right after Q posted that link to this picture, it was to her Instagram page, and it's under ray.chandler, but there's no sense going there because it's gone. This was posted by Q, and I'm talking very soon after. Let me see when this was posted. Okay, he posted this, the Instagram, at 2:43:53. Okay, 2:43:53 today. And hang on. And this was posted at 3:17. So less than a half an hour later, he posted this. But it was after this person, if you watch the video that I did earlier, this person kind of made the connection. And once that connection was made, Q immediately posted to the board. And he said, connection made, RC end. And that's Ray or Rachel Chandler. And her Instagram was pulled or deleted. So I would assume, because he says, we have grounds. We had grounds to pull it. The connection was made and we pulled this. We have grounds. Because somebody figured this out. And they're probably not ready for it to come out yet. I don't know. But anyway, it leads me to wonder if the video of Hillary and Huma is cannibalism. That would be pretty, I think the world would be absolutely, I don't know. I think they'd go into denial, but I don't know. Anyways, he said, we have grounds, reverting. Thank you, Q. Now, I don't know what he means to reverting, unless it's we're reverting back to our normal topic. I don't know, but he says, we have grounds, connection made, RC end. They took her Instagram page down. Now, this picture was not posted by Q. This is my really, really sick sense of humor. And I posted it because I spent a whole long time. That's great grammar, isn't it? Okay, here's this post. It says China. Chongqing, if that's how you pronounce it. I hope it is. Tuesday. Q. So I went out to the web and I started doing research and I started looking to see if I could figure out what that meant. And I even looked up conferences that were going to be in that area, everything. Well, during my travels, I really wasted a heck of a long time and I didn't accomplish anything, but I did find this picture, and it's a Chongqing restaurant uses Obama statue to lure customers. Okay. And I thought that was pretty funny. So I thought that maybe if I found it amusing, you might find it amusing as well. But then maybe you all have too much sense to call that humor. So then Q posted about the helicopter crash, and we're going to go out there because he's left a link. So obviously he wants us to look at it. And then he says, coincidence? Statistically impossible? Pray. Day 1. Q. So what he's saying, obviously, is these aren't coincidences. Somebody is specifically targeting our military and doing this. that's what I think he's saying. He's saying statistically impossible. Yeah, it is. There's been too many crashes. Now, let's go take a look at this. And 2 soldiers killed in helicopter crash at Fort Campbell. They were killed when their helicopter crashed during a training exercise at Fort Campbell in Kentucky. Officials said Saturday the soldiers were members of the 101st Airborne Division. The crash happened Friday night and involved an Army AH-64E Apache helicopter. The names of the deceased will not be released until 24 hours after next of kin notification is complete, officials said. The crew was conducting routine training at the time of the accident. There were no other casualties. Fort Campbell Fire and Emergency Services responded to the crash scene. And it says, string of U.S. military crashes in 2018 continues deadly trend. And there's another, I guess, here. Where was it? And on Tuesday, Marin Corps CH-053E Super Stallion helicopter crashed during a training flight in California, killing the 4 crew members on board. Okay, we remember that. But also Tuesday, a Marine Corps AV-8B Harrier crashed during a takeoff in Djibouti, and the pilot survived after ejecting. So what's going on? What's going on here? We know that they can crash airplanes. Is that what they're doing? Are they targeting the military? Is this the cabal saying you better back off, or we're going to kill more servicemen, servicewomen? I don't know. But I don't think it's a coincidence. There's too many for it to be a coincidence. Now, then Q posted this. You have more than you know. Steel, tech, America for sale, systematic weakening of the U.S., U1, cash flow funnel, inside job, traders, money. We are in control. Those awake can see. And he's just going down the list here of, you have more than you know. And he lists all their, what they've been up to. And then he says, we are in control. We are. All this stuff, yeah, we know what's going on. We're in control. Those awake can see. Q. Now, in the weekly address by the POTUS, he happened to say, it's happening. And an Anon asked, Q, please confirm or tell us if we are wrong about POTUS weekly address. It's happening, meaning what we all think it means. So he's basically saying, yeah, was that a nod to us? Is that why he said that? And Q responds and says, talking to you, Anon. We always see it's happening here. The tone, war, April showers, Q. So yeah, he's confirming. Yeah, of course it's a nod to you guys. Talking to you, Anon. And because we always see it's happening here, and he says the tone. I think he's saying, listen to the tone. War. This is war. April showers, Q. So again, the POTUS gives a shout out to the channels. And he does link to this later, the address. So we're going to take a look at that in a minute. But he posts this, and it says, EHCA, relevant, soon, Q. Now, I believe this stands for California, because in the next post, he says, border states are very key. And if you listen to his address, his weekly address, that's what he was talking about, is the border problem, border situation. And he said, border states are very key, bigger than you can imagine. The pipeline, not Republican versus Democrat. CA is special. Public will learn. Q. Now, this is what I believe he's saying. He's saying, look, the border states are key. And this is a bigger issue than anyone imagines, because that's the pipeline. That's where they're using that to get illegal drugs in, human trafficking, what else? Guns, all that. Remember, we covered that in another post, and that's how they're funding. That's how the deep state is funding the black ops. So if you cut that off, you cut off their funding, and you also stop a lot of crime and etc. And he's saying, so yeah, this is bigger than y'all imagine, because that's the pipeline, and it's not a Republican versus Democrat problem. And when he's saying California is special, they have not followed the laws of the land. And he said the public will learn. Q. And he addresses this in his weekly address, which is why it's called a weekly address, because he addresses things. Okay, now, before he posted this, he made reference to his own post here, EHCA, relevant soon. Now, I did look and see if I could figure out maybe whose initials that was, but I had no luck. So I don't know what that means. But he said it's relevant soon, so maybe nobody knows yet. I don't know. So here he posts a link to the weekly address, and he says, listen carefully, Q. Well, he's asking us to listen carefully, so let's go ahead and do that.
The federal government is charged with the sacred duties of protecting our nation, supporting our Constitution, and defending our borders. We also have to ensure the equal application of our laws in all 50 states. Last year, politicians in California violated the Constitution by nullifying federal law and declaring their state to be a sanctuary from federal immigration enforcement, a border-free zone where thousands of criminal aliens can roam free, a very, very dangerous situation, unacceptable to everyone. Their actions not only imperil the security of the people of California, but the security of the entire nation. California's sanctuary bill should be called the jailbreak bill, because that's exactly what it is. They force the release of dangerous criminal aliens from prisons and jails, including drug traffickers and dealers responsible for the deaths of countless Americans. It's gotten totally out of control. We can't allow it to go on. California's law also increases our vulnerability to terrorism by keeping life-saving information from federal authorities. The relationship is ridiculous. It forces law enforcement not to work together. Last week, the citizens of Orange County, California, bravely resisted the open borders politicians in Sacramento. The Orange County Board of Supervisors courageously voted to join the administration's lawsuit to stop these dangerous and unconstitutional actions. All across California and all over America, everyday citizens are taking a stand to protect their families, protect their borders, and protect their country. Every citizen has the right to be protected by federal law. And when politicians in California break those laws, they violate the constitutional rights of their citizens. My message to communities under siege from drugs and gangs and violence is, you can stop this, and you can stop it cold. Partner with the federal government so we can help to remove these threats from your communities and restore peace to our streets. I'm also calling on Congress to immediately close the deadly border security loopholes that endanger our country. All over our country, we're living with laws that don't work. Congress has to change them. Democrats in Congress are doing everything in their power to undermine immigration enforcement and encourage illegal immigration. Their policies are putting all of America at risk. It is so bad, it's hard to believe what they're doing and why they're doing it. We can't let it continue. the Democrats are not doing what's right for our country. I will not rest until we have secured our borders and restored the rule of law. We will win, and we will win soon. It's happening.
Now, quite frankly, that is the best speech on immigration I've ever heard. And inside, I was like clapping and shouting and cheering because it's awesome. I also wanted, so you heard at the end, he said it's happening. Now, and the tone of it was serious, like it's happening, it's gonna happen, it's starting. But I wanted to show you guys something because I noticed something that was a little weird, and I'm wondering if it's just me or if you all find it strange too. So let me try and find it here. I'm not exactly sure where it is, but I did want to mention it. And I'm going to put it on mute here while I do this because I want to find where this is. Here it is. This motion that he makes with two hands into fists is odd to me. I've never seen him do it before. I've never seen anybody do it before. And I don't know, was it a sign to somebody? I'm just wondering. Like, I'll play it, okay? Watch carefully. Come on. Now it won't go. Here it goes. Oh, sorry. I did something stupid there. Yeah. And what he was saying during that, before he did that, here.
Actions not only imperil the security of the people of California, but the security of the entire nation. California's sanctuary bill should be called he did that while he said the entire nation.
So I don't know, but I'd be interested to see if you guys thought there was anything strange with that. It's just odd to me, but hey, probably people think that things that I do are odd. So, and they are. They'd be right. Now, the next thing Q posts is this link to this article, and he says, read between the lines, front page, fake news, Q. Now, it's interesting because they know what's coming. I'm telling you, they know. The cabal, they know because they're getting in front of it. And they're starting with the fake news, like the Clinton emails are fakes. And they were retrieved from the deep web. They were not retrieved from the deep web. CNN probably doesn't even know what the deep web is. And by the way, CNN, you can't get to the deep web with Google. Anyway, let's go out here because he left the link. I'm not going to read all this because it just annoys me, and it will annoy you too. And it's long and stupid and asinine and ridiculous and ludicrous. Did I say it was asinine? It's asinine. Okay. I'm going to turn this. Hang on.
Tonight, CNN has learned that a Trump campaign advisor played a key role in...
Okay, sorry. All right. Exclusive. Trump advisor played key role in pursuit of possible Clinton emails from dark web before election. Say what? A Donald Trump foreign policy advisor pushed government agencies to review materials from the dark web in the summer of 2016 that he thought were Hillary Clinton's deleted emails. Multiple sources with direct knowledge tell CNN. Yeah. Joseph Schmitz approached the FBI and other government agencies about materials a client of his had discovered that Schmitz believed might have been Clinton's missing 30,000 emails from her private email server, sources say. The material was never verified, and sources say they ultimately believed it was fake. Now, let me remind you, these are the emails that Seth Rich, he had a flash drive, he copied them, he took them to Julia Assange, mailed them, delivered them somehow. That's how they got out. There's no deep web involvement. And what they're talking about is 8chan. That's what they're talking about. And we're going to find out in a minute that that's what they're talking about. They're talking about 4chan and 8chan. And CNN is just ignorant enough to believe that that's the deep web. Are you kidding me? Do they even know what it is? No, I would think that they don't. Or they just think that the rest of America is too stupid to know. So if they tell you that 8chan and 4chan are the deep web, you'll believe it. It's I don't like the stupidity, honestly, is mind-boggling. His push is the latest example of Trump advisors who were mixed up in efforts to find dirt on Clinton during the presidential campaign. Schmitz was one of the first people Trump named to his campaign national security and foreign policy team. The team showcased in a March 2016 photo were thrown together early in Trump's successful run as he faced mounting pressure to prove his ability to pull in high-level advisors who could help prepare him for the White House. Well, here we're at. Russian alert. We're going to go with the Russians again. Another advisor pictured in the photo, Trump's foreign policy advisor, George Papadopoulos, was told by a Kremlin-connected professor that Russian government had damaging material on Clinton. 6 weeks later, Donald Trump Jr. got a message from a business associate offering similar information, leading to a Trump Tower meeting, or the Trump Tower meeting, that Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, and then campaign chairman Paul Manafort attended. Fired chief strategist Steve Bannon told the House Intelligence Committee in February that members of the Trump campaign kept getting approached by outsiders suggesting ways to get Clinton's emails, according to a source familiar with his testimony. Schmidt's connection to the multifaceted effort to expose damaging information about Clinton has not been previously reported. His status as a former Pentagon Inspector General afforded him access to the agencies and a sophisticated understanding of the government bureaucracy. He was relentless, sources say, and truly believed his client had found important, sensitive material. He did not hesitate in his pursuit, even though the material on the dark web, a part of the internet not easily accessible or traceable, was questioned, and many experts already believed the Russians had stolen Clinton's emails. Yeah, a part of... Oh my gosh. Anyway, okay. And let's get, here, we're getting to the source here. Schmitz met with officials at the FBI, the State Department, and the Intelligence Community Inspector General, the watchdog tasked with investigating Clinton's alleged mishandling of classified information. He claimed a source he called, quote, Patriot, an unidentified contractor he was representing, had discovered what he believed was likely material stolen from Clinton that could contain classified information. Both the client and Schmitz were afraid that going through the material without permission could jeopardize their security clearances, though there is no indication their actions were illegal. While officials at the State Department and Inspector General briefly interviewed Schmitz, they declined to review or accept the information, according to sources familiar with the process. The FBI interviewed him as part of its ongoing criminal investigation into Clinton's emails, sources said. It's not clear whether Special Counsel Robert Mueller is pursuing information about Schmitz's attempts. Schmitz then took a memo outlining his claims and concerns to the House Intelligence Committee. One cybersecurity expert outside the government, who also saw the material on the dark web, said the emails appeared to be fake based on his review and the forum where they were posted. The forum. Yeah, that's 4chan, 8chan. And you know how we know? How we can know that? This next sentence. I'm pretty sure they were posted on the dark web equivalent of Reddit, the source said. what's they're talking about 8chan, 4chan. That's exactly what they think. It's the dark web. That's how stupid they are. They think it's the dark web. Wow. Yeah. CNN made multiple attempts to seek a response from Schmitz, including approaching him in person Friday. He declined to comment for the story. Yeah. So anyway, that's, and I'm not going to get into all this about the emails. They're trying to say that the emails, the missing Clinton emails, they're all fakes, and it's a big story made up on the boards, the 4chan, 8chan, the deep web, to discredit. Yeah. So there you go. There you go. Anyway, let's go on. Okay. Now, Q, after posting this and saying it's fake news, he says, new tactic, buckle up, media matters, 4chan, narrative plus anything Q, clowns plus Twitter push. MSM overdrive, all for a LARP. So he's being a little sarcastic there. He's saying, yeah, are they doing all this, because it's a LARP? No, they're doing it all because it's real and they're scared. And they're beefing up their efforts here. And it's interesting because this Anon, this is in response to this above, okay? That's why he posted that, because an Anon took a screenshot of this. The emails appeared to be fake based on his review and the forum where they were posted. I'm pretty sure they were posted on the dark web equivalent of Reddit, the source said. And this Anon says, 8chan? And Q acknowledges that. He doesn't say, no, they're not talking about 8chan. He acknowledges it and he says, yeah, new tactic, buckle up. Interesting. So, the next and the last thing is this, and it's a picture of a march in Washington, D.C., and it was held by Q followers, and this person, this Anon, posted this picture of them, and Q acknowledges it, and he says, Patriots, stand together, strength, power. They want you divided. Q. Now, Q did not post this, but I went to where this person got this picture, and I went to their Twitter page, and I was really shocked. I was really shocked, eh? Okay, here. All right, this is Will Summer, and he's campaign editor at The Hill. He writes a newsletter about conservative media, richter.com, and he is covering this, and, he's making fun of Roseanne there, and then he says, so far, the QAnon march has drawn something like 100 people, as well as, curiously, someone carrying multiple pool noodles. Stay tuned. And then he says, chanting, we want justice and we love Nunes. The QAnon march is off to the Department of Justice. And then it says the QAnon march has taken 14th Street. They're changing where we go one, we go all. A cue given to them by the cryptic Q. One fellow is trying to convince bystanders to join the QAnon march. We got FISA-gate. We've got 9/11 truth. Here's a video of the QAnon march for a sense of scale. Pretty big turnout for a rally in 40-degree weather for an extremely fake conspiracy theory. So he's making fun of these people. I mean, I'm sure you can tell that. Approaching the Trump Hotel, the QAnon crew starts chanting, "We are the storm." The QAnon march even has Kermit sipping tea memes, but about Benghazi. And I can't really see that, but QAnon posters are now marching up Pennsylvania Avenue demanding to know who is Q. Reminder that the whole thing is based on anonymous internet posts on 4chan. The QAnon rally is, incredibly, scheduled to go till 2 p.m., so there's plenty more to come. InfoWars' Jerome Corsi is scheduled to appear. I never did see a picture of Jerome Corsi, but one fellow is carrying Corsi's book as a sort of banner itself. The QAnon crew has arrived for their rally at Freedom Plaza. Intriguingly, it's an open mic. Organizer Tracy Beans asked the crowd how many of them are Russian bots or paid by George Soros. Big cheers. Speech time, one guy yells, Q sent us. This woman drove up from Georgia for the QAnon march. This sign on the podium is a good reminder how much of QAnon is just dressed up Pizzagate. And then a former moderator of the QAnon subreddit takes the stage. Big cheers when the crowd recognizes her username, Red Pill the World. Big cheers for one speaker's claim that the events of QAnon were foretold in the Book of Daniel. Recurring theme throughout the QAnon speeches is how many legitimate grievances people have with the U.S. healthcare system. One guy, my teeth are rotting out of my mouth. Another promises cancer and autism will be healed this year. And also Hillary Rodham Clinton will be sent to Gitmo. Now the QAnon event is about chemtrails. The QAnon event has been hijacked by a guy explaining his sovereign citizen theories. Crowd, now standing in 40-degree weather for the past 2 hours, doesn't love it. After 15 minutes of stultifying sovereign citizen talk at the QAnon march, another guy takes the stage and starts talking about admiralty law. Oh no. A QAnon figure asks how many people in the crowd watch his 24-hour QAnon live stream. Dozens of hands go up. The QAnon live stream guy says he gets 4 hours of sleep a night because he's so busy doing QAnon stuff. I've never felt so energized and dedicated as I do being a part of this. A speaker named Dead Cat takes the stage, apparently a big internet character for the crowd, which cheers him multiple times. The deep state, we're going to kill them bastards. And that's it for the QAnon rally. I'll leave you with these custom Q hats. So obviously this person is making fun of Q, and so whatever. I want to show you though down here some guy, he doesn't, where is it? Right here. Some guy says, wondering if there's a deep hidden meaning in this occult symbol, or if someone was just trying to get their markers warmed up. And of course it's from Pizzagate. It's the pedophilia sign. Yeah. So anyway. All right. So that's it for Q. And it is 12:06 now, so it's not even April 6th anymore. I started on April 6th and I ended on April 7th. So, that's it for tonight. Have a good sleep and stay safe. I'll talk to you guys later. And I really hope this one has sound.